Podcasts and web shows are on the rise, and for good reason. They're great sources of entertainment and can be great listens in multitudes of situations like long drives or intense study sessions. Maybe, just maybe, you have an idea for a show or podcast that you want to put out into the world. Well, lucky for you, it's never been easier to jump into podcasting thanks to the wonderful people at Anchor.fm. Anchor takes care of most of the back-end work of podcasts. No more are the days of coordinating releases on multiple platforms, paying for a podcast hosting subscription to hold your RSS feed, or other hassles. Anchor sets up your podcast on all the major podcast platforms like Spotify and Apple automatically. They even provide sleek and easy-to-use editing tools that can be accessed from your phone or computer to get your podcast to the world through the path of least resistance. Anchor also matches you up with sponsors so that you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership, and even gives you in-depth stats for your shows like total plays, regions of viewership, as well as what kind of devices your show is being listened on. Here's the best part about all of this. It's free. So what are you waiting for? Anchor has everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. If you're ready to add your voice and vision to the mix, it's never been easier. And I highly recommend you go the way of Anchor.fm, just like the ControllerCast did. So here you go. Download the free Anchor app or go to Anchor.fm to get started. That's Anchor.fm.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the ControllerCast, the E3 special, the Electronic Entertainment Exposition. We are coming to you live from different parts of the country, all equally as warm and toasty as the others. So we got here the Nintendo fanboy Andrew, we got the Sony pony Arcel, got the Master Race executive Parker, and then the guy who sucks at video games now, Mr. Jonathan Wood.
Thank you.
So today we're going to bring you guys a little E3 analysis. We are all four of us are very interested in the video game stratosphere, so we are going to do a little deep dive, give you guys our opinions, as well as take you guys' opinions that you gave us on Twitter at the end, and we will crown a winner if there was one. I don't know if there really was one.
I think there was one. But
I think there was one.
Yeah.
So speaking of winners, last week, if you are a loyal listener and actually listened to our podcast last week, we did predictions of the E3 announcements. So we'll kind of run through those a little bit. We'll see who won from the podcast.
Keep in mind that we're recording on Wednesday. This might come out Sunday. So there might be some news that
there's not. E3's over.
E3
ended yesterday. It ended yesterday. They did the award show yesterday.
Nintendo surprise drops the Switch Pro.
There's no follow-up news. I don't
know.
No,
the only criteria for the predictions that counts was between when you gave it on Sunday and when E3 ended on Tuesday, which was yesterday.
I was thinking maybe like one of these companies would just do a follow-up or something, maybe fix one.
The only prediction I could see changing is John's, and even that is like such a far stretch that it's just not gonna happen.
Switch Pro. Switch Pro.
Okay, so let's run through the predictions. Okay, so
should we share ours, or do you want to go through them?
I'll run through them. So I think you sent yours, but I only have Parker and John. So maybe we can each do our own. Okay, so mine, we had 3 predictions each. Going through mine, I had a Zelda remaster or re-release. Okay, so 1 point there because I'm counting the Game & Watch version of all 3 of them because it's a re-release.
I would say that
debatable.
Counts.
Okay, so Nintendo and Xbox give us Master Chief, Doom Guy, or Game Pass. Xbox and Nintendo have been fucking and have not told anybody, so they did not announce anything together. So I did not get a point for that one. And then the last one, I had Breath of the Wild gets announced with a date and Metroid Prime 4 gets announced with a date. I'm giving myself a half a point on that. I got Breath of the Wild 2-part, so I won't give myself a whole point. So I'll finish with 1.5.
You didn't get release date either.
Is 2022 a date?
Yeah, it's a period of time.
A point is a point.
I'm calling March 2023.
A point is a point.
Yeah, March 2020. We'll get into that, but I don't think 2022 is going to happen. But no. Andrew, I'm willing to give you a half point.
I'll take a half a point for that. So I probably got dead Andrew. Last at 1.
I'll give you a half a point.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll be lucky if I even give you more than 1 point, you asshole. Okay, so
let's just get into my predictions then.
John, go through yours.
Here, I got
yours is a cop. There's a cop out in here somewhere.
No. Okay. I'll show you the notes. I'll show you my notes. But anyway, I predicted first better footage of Halo Infinite, which we got. We got more footage. It actually
was it better though?
Badass.
Was it better though?
I think it looks pretty badass. I wouldn't say that the graphics look anywhere near next gen.
The game is going to be free to play.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
we'll talk about that later. Keep going with your predictions.
Yeah.
We want to give the people a champ.
My second prediction was that there was not, despite the hype, that there was not going to be a Switch Pro announced, and I was correct. And
okay. Hold on. Now listen here. Nintendo came out and said the E3 presentation will be exclusively on software. Exclusively. Okay.
Everyone was saying Switch Pro. It said almost. I think it said almost exclusively. Let me find the tweet amongst the 30,000 and Metroid tweets.
When the company tells you they're not going to put out a Switch Pro announcement, you cannot say, "Oh, I'm going to guess there's no Switch Pro." Yeah, no shit. They told us that already.
No. I say I get a point for that.
I'll give you a half.
I said no Switch. Okay, fine. Whatever. And then my third dream prediction was Odyssey 2. Obviously, we didn't get that. But Parker, go on into your predictions.
All right. So my first prediction was that, let me pull it up real quick, that we'd get a release date on Forza Horizon 5.
Let's go.
And that we would be seeing it in the fall. So that's a point.
And you're 100% right on that. Congrats.
And
that's beautiful. That deserves 2 points.
But for my middle of the road prediction, I said that we would get gameplay of Breath of the Wild 2. I'd say that's a point.
Wait,
we did get gameplay.
Whoa.
What was the second one you said?
Half a point.
How is that half a point? We got gameplay of Breath of the Wild 2.
Wait, okay, go through your 3 again because I must have missed something here.
Yeah, you didn't mention your third yet, Parker.
It was a teaser trailer.
Oh, wait, say the Breath of the Wild thing again, or go?
Okay, because the one you sent me said Forza Horizon 4, so you got 1. Breath of the Wild 2, so you got 2. But then your third one was Virtual Console.
Yeah, so that's no point. I was about to get into that. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought you were talking about the Breath of the Wild shit, but
so Parker got a 2 out of 3.
Exactly. All right, Arsenal. Let's
gameplay is debatable, but okay.
Well, the notes he sent me did not say gameplay. So
all right.
I said during the podcast that we would get gameplay.
Oh, okay. Then you get 1.5 points, so you're tied for third. Congrats.
All right. Well, I'm gonna come out in first place, baby. We're gonna come out in first place. Of course, Ursula's gonna take the cake. Okay. My easy money prediction was that Xbox Bethesda was going to showcase Starfield, and we were going to get a fall 2022 release date. That is exactly what happened. Give me 1 point for that, baby.
Bye.
Yeah. My second prediction.
Yeah.
And this one is a bit of a cringy prediction. And
I don't remember what it was.
I'm disappointed to admit that I'm getting another point on this one, but my prediction was that less than 50% of the showcases in the Nintendo Direct were going to be new games. I was correct on that. 27. Wow. There were 27 things shown. 13 of those were new games. The rest were DLC and ports. I'm going to leave that up in the air until we go.
Are you counting a remaster as a port though?
Yes. Now I'm going to leave that hanging in the air until we talk about Nintendo, but that's another point. And then the one obviously that I missed was my long shot one, and that was Metroid Prime for gameplay. That obviously did not happen. We did get some sort of Metroid
You were
gameplay.
close.
Yeah, we got
I would say you
Metroid.
won by a mile.
Well, he got
Honestly.
2 and the rest of us got 1.5. So yeah, that's a dub.
I don't
bucks
get
to
why my Breath of the Wild one was 1.5 or a half point.
Yeah, I would give Parker 2 points for that. I mean, we saw gameplay. I don't know what
All right,
like.
so
That's
who
not
gets the money?
gameplay though.
Who gets the money?
How much did we bet? $10? Was it $10 each? Parker, you want to split the $40 between you and me? $20
Yeah.
each?
Yeah, man. Let's go.
Or I just
Let's
like
get this bread.
what happens? Do I just Venmo one of you and Andrew Venmos one of you and we call it good?
We'll talk about it offline, Bucko.
Yeah, this will be
Alright.
planned.
Let's talk about it.
Gambling.
Okay. All right. And you know what? Since we're on the topic of ratings, let's go through actually no, fuck it. We'll go to Microsoft. All right, so Big Daddy Microsoft was giving us a couple of a few, maybe some morsels of announcements while we were recording last week that we couldn't talk about while we were recording for obvious reasons. So I would say Microsoft had a pretty good conference. So we got I should say Microsoft Bethesda. Sorry, my apologies to Microsoft. Okay, so first off, we got Starfield. That release date leaked 10 minutes before the conference started. I don't know why it leaked 10 minutes before the conference started.
That's so dumb.
But one fun fact about that release date, it is exactly 11 years after Skyrim. 11/11/22. Skyrim came out 11/11/11. So little fun
All right,
Easter
so
egg there.
Bethesda be
11,
texting you at 11/11 saying, "Oh, it's true love, baby, 11/11."
Yeah, they got a bonus for that 11/11.
Okay, so Starfield got leaked. It is a Xbox Game Pass slash console slash PC exclusive. I think nobody is surprised that after buying and dropping the bag for Bethesda that Microsoft is making future games exclusives.
I'm not surprised, but I'm kind of annoyed by how long it took Microsoft to actually say it.
Yeah,
I mean, this acquisition came out last year, and it took them like 6 months to finally pull their dick out and be like, "Yep, yep, these games are exclusive." And I mean, I'm gonna obviously want to play Starfield, and I mean, a bunch of these games are gonna be exclusive, but yeah, it's kind of I guess nice to kind of get the cat. What am I saying? The cat out of the hat.
The bag.
Or
the bag.
The Get the cat in the hat.
That these games are going to be exclusives.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, it makes sense for them. I mean, a lot of people, I feel like a majority of the people that care about Starfield are probably in the boat where Parker is, where they have a PC already. So they don't really have a problem with it being PC and Xbox exclusive.
Pretty much.
So
What are your thoughts, John?
I've actually been out of the loop with Starfield. Can someone explain to me what the game is?
Yeah,
So
this is the one thing that I've been out of the loop with.
The rest of us do.
I mean, so it's from Bethesda, John.
Okay.
So like Oblivion, Skyrim, but it's gonna be their first new like IP essentially, and it's I mean, Todd Howard, the director of Bethesda, literally said it's going to be Skyrim, but in space. So
what?
Yeah, so that's a big catch for Xbox. That's going to be, their flagship exclusive come next fall, and they have Halo. Well, I'm sure Andrew's about to bring up Halo, but Halo is going to be their flagship this fall. So they got a big catch with that.
Yes. So Microsoft also, I'll get to Halo last because I think we could have a nice discussion on that. Okay. Battlefield 2042, we already knew everything about. I mean, I guess it makes sense for them to show them because Call of Duty is kind of in bed with Sony, so Xbox might as well take up a nice.
Did you guys see the trailer for this? Did you guys see the gameplay trailer for this?
I did not.
Batshit crazy. The trailer for this, the gameplay trailer that they showed at the Xbox conference was like insane. Like literally they have tornadoes going through the maps now, and like you could like have like a squirrel suit, and like tanks and helicopters and like
What?
shit are like getting sucked up into this tornado, and this tornado is like destroying buildings and like
Isn't the game supporting 128 people on the multiplayer on the Series X and PS5?
yeah. So it's just like it feels like a proper sequel to like the heyday of Battlefield, which is like Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4.
Battlefield
That kind
3. Yes.
So like, but like seriously, like this trailer looked absolutely batshit crazy. Like just this, go watch the trailer after this. Like it's literally like people like flying around in the air, like getting flung around. Like people are like parachuting, like diving off buildings, running ATVs into helicopters. Like
They made that
it's
homage to that video on YouTube where the guy like jumps out of the jet, shoots the other jet with the bazooka, and then jumps back in his jet. Dude, that's legendary.
Yeah.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
So
that was trailer, like, I think that was Battlefield 3, right?
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that was Battlefield 3. You're right. So
Dude,
that shit was crazy.
very exciting.
That's all I have to say.
I'm really excited about Battlefield.
128 player lobbies are definitely intriguing. That sounds like it.
Yeah,
could
it's gonna.
You think your PC can run it, boy?
Definitely. If I turn the settings way down.
Yeah.
PC Master Race settings low.
I built this thing like 4 years ago.
Console. I might have to cop a PS5 or Xbox, potentially.
No.
Oh.
The next game,
okay.
I know Parker is very excited about this, Forza Horizon 5. And okay, I want to know from you guys. I don't know if you guys are, I know Parker likes Forza. I know John likes, I know we all like think Forza is a good game franchise, but how do you guys feel about it going to Mexico? Because I know a lot of people online were hoping the next one be in Japan for the Tokyo aspect, but how do you guys feel about the Mexican backdrop to this game?
I feel like they could do some really beautiful scenery with it, honestly. I don't
They can do a lot.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that at all, because there's beautiful beaches, like vacation spots, mountains. They could do so much with it still. So I would definitely be excited for that, and also something in like Tokyo maybe later on. Like feel like they'll make it beautiful either way.
I think for like Forza Horizon specifically, I'm not that hot on Forza, like the mainline series. But Forza Horizon I think is probably like the best racing / car game out there. I'm shocked that Gran Turismo hasn't gone open world, like, because Forza Horizon has been around since like early 2010s.
Gran Turismo hasn't even gotten damage physics right. Let's take it one step at a time here.
Forza doesn't really have it right either, to be fair.
But Forza Horizon
3, I have that, and I'm super excited for this one because that game was a banger. Easily the best racing game I've ever played. It's like a mix of Gran Turismo and like Need for Speed, but they had a baby, and the baby's like absolutely perfect in every way. Like, there's really nothing to knock on Forza for. I don't think it's repetitive. It's super fun, and Forza Horizon 5 looks to be no different, especially because there's a creative tool within the game where you can create your own maps and stuff. So it'll be really interesting to see what comes about with that.
And also during that E3 showcase, they were totally like putting their dick out on the table, because like it's gotten to the point with racing games where it just looks like real life. Like there was like during the Xbox showcase, there was a few times, every time they would show a new scenery, they would spend like 10 seconds on just the scenery before the cars came in. And if you just took that photo and put it on Twitter or something, you would think that's real life. Like, well, it looks that good.
Racing games don't require as much like
the footage they got for the sky. They actually recorded in 12K. They recorded footage of the sky in that area in 12K, and they like reformatted it or whatever into the game. So it's legitimate sky that you're seeing.
Racing games don't require as much like resources when it comes to hardware. So they can run at super high frame rates and like look beautiful at the same time.
Yeah.
So I'm excited like to run this on my PC and see how everything
Yeah.
looks.
In terms of
especially high frame rate.
in terms of like Metacritic scores, Forza Horizon essentially carried the Xbox One through the entire generation. Like the highest Metacritic scored games on Xbox One were Forza Horizon games, which I think is a testament to the quality of them. So I'm excited for 5. And of course, as everything they've been talking about, they talked about during the show, it's going to be on Game Pass day one. And you don't have to, you just
That's
have to pay
insane.
that. Yeah. Like that's one thing before we get into like, I feel like it's a good time to mention it. They showed 30 games at the Xbox showcase. 27 of them are going to be on Xbox Game Pass. Think about how insane that is. like, and then on top of that, they've announced how they want to move. They want to have Game Pass be like an Amazon Fire TV, like that. They want to put it on like, it's something you can plug into your TV, and you have Game Pass. Like they have super ambitious plans for where they want to take Game Pass, and it's really cool to see Xbox really innovate in that sort of ecosystem way with Game Pass, where they want it to be like the Netflix of games. They want it to be another app on your smart TV. I know, like, it's very obvious they want to bring Game Pass to Switch, and it's also very obvious they want to bring Game Pass to PlayStation. Like, it's clear that that software growth and that expansion of their software ecosystem is where Xbox's future is at, which I think is super cool.
And that's what Microsoft really excels at. They're completely software driven. So the idea of them bringing this to other devices is no surprise, because that's what Microsoft does with their Windows software. You see it everywhere. So this does not shock me one bit.
Yeah,
I
I
agree.
think I think the way that Xbox is setting up Game Pass, I think will prove to be very successful in the future for them. Because being able to pay a subscription fee and getting basically unlimited games, I mean, how do you even beat that? Like how does your competition beat that? Especially when PlayStation is bumping their games up to $70 a piece.
I know. It's like, what the, like, I can pay $15 a month for Game Pass, and I have over 100 games. I can open my Xbox right now. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's insane. So other
They've
games
completely
they announced,
reinvented. They've completely reinvented the way people think about how they buy their games, which is.
I think it'll change the industry. I just think because okay, so they have it on Android. They put the xCloud beta version on iOS. Apple won't let them have a Game Pass app for some reason, so you have to play it through the Safari browser. For whatever sunset.
Cringe.
All right, so Game Pass. So some other games before we get to Halo Infinite that they announced. So Yakuza got like a spin-off game that released right after the presentation. So if you're a Yakuza fan, good for you. They also Sony got a little announcement here. Hades coming out on Xbox and PlayStation finally after being PC and Switch exclusive since last year. So that would be a cool way to get more people into Hades and into the roguelike genre. We also got an announcement. Outer Worlds is getting a sequel, Outer Worlds 2. I don't know what consoles that's coming out on, but I assume it's the same as the last one came out on.
Did you see the trailer for that one? It was actually really funny.
Really? I did not.
It was just a CG trailer, and in the trailer they're like, yeah, this is a CG trailer. We have nothing done for the game. We're actually like it's actually the narrator saying this. It's like,
at least they're honest. I mean, shit.
Yeah, like,
most game developers put together a CG like commercial, and they're like, 2022, and then it doesn't come out for like 3 years.
Yeah, but in the trailer is like, this is just a CG trailer because we have no gameplay ready to show you, and we'll show you a silhouette of the main character because we haven't finished their design. It was actually like a super funny trailer. I loved it.
Yeah,
I think Outer Worlds was actually on the Switch.
It was, but it looked like dog shit.
What if the second one is on the Switch?
Yeah.
Switch Pro?
I am not expecting it to be on any console except the Xbox consoles.
Yes, I would agree. Other big game, the last big game that I saw, Microsoft Flight Sim coming to Xbox. However, However, on the most powerful, since podcasting is a visual medium, you can definitely see me doing air quotes around most powerful console. Microsoft Flight Simulator is making its jump to console from being a PC exclusive, and it is coming in with crossplay with PC, cross saves with PC, and a lovely
cross saves. What save data do you have on Microsoft Flight Simulator?
No idea, dude. Flight logs, I don't know. Shit.
You're the aviation miner, right?
Xbox One. Can you play it on Xbox One?
No, only Series X and S, and it is coming in at a buttery 30 FPS. So that is disgusting. I don't know.
That game's really
the most powerful console in the world, and you can only get 30 FPS on a fucking flight simulator. You got to be shitting me right now.
That game's used a lot with virtual reality, I feel like. So I don't know if they had to adjust settings to make that work better.
But like, oh god, like 30 FPS on a game, like on
the
most powerful
on a next gen console.
That's pretty crazy.
To be fair, from what I've seen, most PCs can't run it at 60 FPS just because they use real like satellite images as you're like playing the game. But I mean, come on, man. That
game's insane.
Yeah,
the fact that they put that together.
Yeah, the fact that
you can fly in the first anywhere. Place.
Yeah, it's insane.
You can fly to Omaha. You can fly to Eppley Airfield. You can see your house.
People have used that game to fly to like the Firefest Island. You can fly over North Korea. I mean, dude, you can fly anywhere on that game. It's insane, and it is visually stunning. Like it's like Forza on like cocaine. Like it's fucking insane, dude.
Imagine using an Oculus Rift or an HTC Vive and just operating the fucking control panel with your like thumbsticks or whatever you use with those. That would be absolutely amazing to see, like, and just feel like you're really in a flight when you're not. That would be something intriguing and immersive.
Dude, I feel like I gotta get an Xbox now.
I feel like I do too, dude. This is bullshit.
I never thought I'd be saying this, but I feel I need to get an Xbox now.
This is kind of like I saw a tweet, and this like summed up my thoughts perfectly about this whole conference, where it's like, it feels like this conference was when it's like Xbox finally hit the gas. Like, this was the best conference that Xbox has had in a long time. We're about to enter a phase where there's going to be a lot of Xbox exclusives coming out and a lot of Xbox games coming out on Game Pass, where you don't have to pay full price for a game and you have access to hundreds of games. And there's a lot more exclusives coming out. The Halo meme, the Halo, it's just Halo. That's not going to exist in a year. Like, this is, you got to give Xbox their flowers. Like, they've been building up, and they finally hit the gas with this E3 press conference.
This is why they acquired Bethesda. Like,
yes, exactly.
Completely.
Yeah.
And speaking of Halo memes, our boy Craig has been avenged. Craig the Brute has been avenged. Actually, side note, the Bonnie Ross, the founder and head of 343 Industries, hinted that a Craig plushie will be coming soon. So you can have Craig in your
Craig
homes.
What? What'd you say?
A Craig plushie, like a stuffed animal of Craig.
Craig.
So Halo Infinite, a new trailer was released. It was announced it will be a free-to-play multiplayer and a
premium
and the
campaign.
Story will be a premium campaign. Looks better. Doesn't really look like a next gen game, but looks better.
I will agree with that.
It looks better than the first trailer.
Yeah. I want to jump in here.
Leagues better.
Yeah. Look, the best thing you can say about this is that people walked out of this conference and they did not start memeing on Halo Infinite compared to Xbox, their last showcase of Halo Infinite, where it was just getting shout on left and right. They did a lot better here. However, I still personally, and I'm saying this as someone who has a very fond history of Halo, I am still not expecting this game to be great. This game has been in development hell. Keep in mind, the last Halo came out in 2015. the average turnaround for a Halo game is 3 years. We're about to enter 6 years. This game was supposed to come out in 2020 of fall. It is coming out in the fall of 2021. The multiplayer looks cool. I will check it out because it's free, but they have to knock it out of the park with this game. That's the scary part for them, I think.
Dude, and I want to give a shout out to Microsoft for actually taking this game back, delaying it, and making it might still not look like next gen, but they took it back and they are working to make it look at least better. And they even embraced the meme of Craig because Phil Spencer said that Craig was the face of the Halo brand now. So I mean, at least they took it lightly. I mean, shit, I remember when they showed it for the first time, and I mean, the laughing stock of the internet, honestly. You know, you have this most powerful console in the world, like on the brink of release date, and this stinky fart Halo Infinite comes out. So I mean, at least they made it look better. I will give them credit for that, and I am actually looking forward to this game now.
Yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic. Also, can we talk about the fridge?
We
need to talk about the fridge.
Microsoft is the meme of the Xbox Series X looking like a fridge has come to full circle, and they are releasing a mini fridge designed like an Xbox Series X that will be coming out this holiday.
They want E3. They want E3
easily.
Yeah, I don't see how after that
I do think I mean, just to kind of wrap up Microsoft, I do think they won E3. I think they had the strongest output. They made the most progress since the last time they updated everybody on everything back before the Series X. I personally think they won. I think we can all agree that Microsoft knocked it out of the park this year for once in their fucking lives.
Yeah.
They've got Game Pass.
To be fair, E3 this year in general was pretty shitty compared to previous years.
We'll get into that.
Not even like just like I would say like the Microsoft showcase was the only thing that was like not ass. I feel like like we'll get into it, but no, like seriously, like I'm happy for Xbox. Like they were pretty much MIA this entire generation, and PlayStation just pissed all over them. Like it's good to see.
I've been almost convinced from this showcase to buy an Xbox. The next time I have enough money to get a new console, kind of want to get an Xbox.
Yeah,
Flight Sim
me too.
On Game, if Flight Simulator is on Game Pass, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, Game Pass, what is it? $15 a month?
Yeah.
Dude, Flight Sim, Forza, Halo, obviously. There's so many good things coming from Xbox, and it's really hard, like you said, Ursula, not to give them flowers for this, because like, dude, this was some knock it out of the park shit. I don't know what else they could have included. Maybe Gears of War, if anyone cares about that anymore. Not me. But yeah, but maybe that would have been like the grand slam, but I think they knocked it out of the park.
Yeah,
easily. Dude, I'm really excited to see what I'm really excited to see like what Xbox does over the next 5-7 years of their console.
And I think what Microsoft did too is like they also made it like the best time to be a PC user. Like
PC knocked it out of the park this E3, honestly, because everything coming to Xbox is basically coming to console as well, or I mean PC as well.
That it makes me not want to even get a next gen console. Like that's what this E3 conference really did.
This is, and I think John mentioned this like one of our first podcasts, but it's very interesting coming into this generation or where we are at now, where all three of the big competitors are taking very different approaches, where they're almost not even, none of them are almost competing with one another. But
they're almost working together. I feel like they're all just doing their own thing and getting sales in their own way.
Yeah.
And they're not trying to step on each other's throats. It's just PlayStation's got that first party, but Xbox is starting to get that. Nintendo has the first party, but they don't have the third party. and then Xbox is just focusing on software at this point and integration and cloud gaming and, you know, being able to play Game Pass wherever you're at. It's insane to see the difference in the companies approaching. And then there's Nintendo. And
Okay,
Nintendo.
we'll get to that. We'll
Hold
get to that.
on. We got other conferences to get to first.
I-
Okay, so
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Microsoft.
I can speed us through these kind of smaller conferences if you want. Andy.
I got it.
Okay, go for it, mate.
I watched some of these. Okay, Microsoft. I think we can all say one. Anyways, Capcom. Mega Man does not exist to Capcom anymore. But what does exist to Capcom, Resident Evil Village.
Big, tall lady
Yes.
boobies.
Yes, they are getting a DLC for Resident Evil Village. Pretty cool.
Pretty much all they
Arsenal
announced.
Yeah, pretty much. They had a couple other ones. So Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin got a trailer. I personally don't care about Monster Hunter. I know Japan is pretty big on that, but go off, I guess. Ace Attorney is getting a.
I've heard Ace Attorney is pretty good. I've never. Those
I've
were
never
DS
played
games,
Ace
right?
Attorney. Yes,
Those were-
they came out
yeah.
on the Nintendo DS. So kind of a Nintendo franchise, but it's made by Capcom, so that's pretty cool. I think they had one other thing. Resident Evil Reverse, online multiplayer game. It's coming out in July. Don't know if anybody
No one cares.
gives a shit about that.
No one cares about Resident Evil multiplayer.
Nope.
So Capcom kind of stinky, no Mega Man. Square Enix or let's see. Marvel had a nice. Oh, sorry. Square Enix had a nice presentation where they announced Guardians of the Galaxy, Black Panther DLC for the Avengers game.
Stinky.
Final Fantasy Origins. Don't know if anybody cares about Final Fantasy Origins.
Yeah, I just want to. I just want to chime in.
I mean,
here
this is kind of like Square Enix is kind of just like a Marvel press conference this year. Nice.
Yeah. The Square Enix conference was also pretty poopy. I just want to chime in. Black Panther DLC for the Avengers game. I don't know how you could release an Avengers game and make it suck as bad as it did, but congrats, Square Enix, you did that. Final Fantasy Origins, the only thing I want to mention about that is they literally put out a demo after this conference ended, and the demo was broken. The demo was corrupted. Anyone who downloaded it, yeah, anyone who downloaded it and tried to play it, it would just crash, and they had to they had to patch the demo to make it playable. So dumb.
Yeah, this game is gonna be great, guys. Yeah.
And then I just want to add on, and I'm gonna bring this up later during the Nintendo conference, but I want to ask you about this, John. They announced a Guardians of the Galaxy game. Are you excited? Are you excited about that? I know we're both big MCU guys.
Yep. It's funny. Casey and I are watching the Infinity Saga right now. We're actually rewatching it again. We do this every year now. But funny enough, I am not at all excited for this game. I think that, seeing what they did with Avengers, I have no hope.
Yeah.
For this game, I'm very cautiously optimistic. I'm very cautiously optimistic about Guardians of the Galaxy as a game. I don't think it'll be very good. Seeing that it's on the Switch too, I don't know if they. Yeah,
because there's some interesting connections you can make about it coming to Switch, and I want to save that for when we talk about Nintendo.
All right.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna pick that one up. From
Square Enix,
I've seen.
I'm gonna wait for the.
Go on.
What's up? Oh, so sorry. The story and the characters look cool, but when they showed the gameplay, that shit looked rough. I'm pretty sure there was one point. I don't know if it was my YouTube video I was watching, but that shit dropped down to 10 frames per second at one point, and that was that's what you got to bring your best foot forward to E3. You don't want to be showing a demo that's dropping down to 10 frames. But there's some cool stuff. But the more specific analysis I have on it, the more the stuff that caught my attention. Yeah, I want to save for the Nintendo conference because I think it has some interesting implications.
Let's see. Okay, so Square Enix, can we agree that stinky?
Yeah,
not great.
Stinky.
Capcom also stinky, not great. Summer Games Fest. Not great. They had Near Automatas 2B announced for Fall Guys. And then Elden Ring, the long rumored Elden Ring is real.
Yes,
it is actually coming out, and it looks good.
This was probably the most hyped announcement for all of E3. So, like, shout out to Jeff Keighley, who runs the Game Awards, for snagging this as an announcement. I think this looks really, really cool. And just from more interviews from the director of the game, it looks like it's taking cues from Breath of the Wild. So almost like a mix between Souls, like Dark Souls, and because if you guys don't know, Elden Ring is made from the people who made Dark Souls and Bloodborne. But it looks like it's going to be a mix of Dark Souls and Breath of the Wild, because he said it's going to be an open world, which, the previous Dark Souls games have not been open world. And it's going to have 6 areas, and you can like tackle those areas in whatever order you want. Very similar to something like Breath of the Wild, where you have those four. What am I forgetting? John, help me out here. I feel like you would know this. The
divine beasts.
The divine beasts. Yeah,
Dungeons.
It's gonna be like the same setup for Elden Ring. I want to give a special shout out to our Elden Ring, because I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a subreddit obviously that formed after the initial trailer for this game was shown 2 years ago, and all they've been doing is just making up fan fiction in that subreddit, because they have literally had nothing to go off of or talk about. And that subreddit has gained like a lot of notoriety because it's just people just spewing bullshit about nothing. But now that the game has been announced and shown, everyone's flipping out in that subreddit. But I'm really excited about this game. From Software is one of the best developers around. Sekiro was like my game of the year for 2019. Dark Souls is one of the best games of all time. Bloodborne is one of the best games of the last generation. This is probably going to be a game of the year contender when it comes out next year. So I'm super excited. And it's taking inspiration from Breath of the Wild, which is never a bad thing. So I am excited about this game. A harder, more extreme Breath of the Wild. That sounds right up my alley.
So, all right, Breath of the Wild. Okay, Summer Games Fest. It wasn't too bad. Elden Ring, the biggest, so that's interesting. Yeah. So now we will
pretty poopy, but there was the ending. The Elden Ring kind of saved it a little, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, we did Microsoft. We got Nintendo coming. Sony. Oh wait, they weren't there. The only thing that got announced for, Nintendo announced for Sony that a Wii U game is coming to the PS4 and 5. So good for Sony. You get an F.
It's time for the main event.
Yes. Okay. So Nintendo. All right. Everybody knows how Nintendo works. They hate money.
So many high expectations coming into this one, by the way.
Nah, that's your own fault, buddy.
No,
okay.
Hold on, back it up. Whoa. Andrew, you were the most hyped about this.
Listen. Okay, I want to give a PSA to the podcast listeners. The Nintendo Direct cycle, build the hype, expect nothing. Okay, I'm used to this. I'm used to getting hurt. Okay, this is not new for me. Okay, I keep the hype going because the best thing about the Direct is the possibilities the Direct brings. You could see, Mario get a new mainline game. You could actually see Metroid Prime 4 come out, but no, fuck that. Nintendo said, you know what we're gonna do today? We're gonna look at some side franchises. Fuck Mario. He can die.
They killed him on the 31st of March.
Yes, he died on the 31st. So Nintendo.
Yeah, we're not making Mario games anymore. We're letting Ubisoft make those games now.
I'll give a brief rundown of the big things announced. Okay, so we got Kazuya from Tekken added to Smash. That's a pretty cool addition because now we got Street Fighter. We got what the fuck is Terry from? I don't remember what fighting game he's from.
Street Fighter?
No, he's from like Streets of Rage. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Streets of Rage, and then now we got Kazuya from Tekken. So we got Tekken, Street Fighter, and damn it, I can't remember what Terry's called. Yeah, sure. Yeah, so we'll go with Streets of Rage. That works.
I'm looking. I'll look it up.
So we got that right off the bat. Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Streets of Rage.
Okay, Streets of Rage. So we got Life is Strange. It's getting a collection remaster. I don't know anybody that gives a shit about that. Guardians of the Galaxy is coming out, but it's a cloud version, so nobody cares.
Version. Wait.
What?
Can we talk about that? A cloud version of Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yes.
How is that even going to work on the Switch?
You have to be connected
It's
to the
online.
internet. It streams it to your
But its
streaming.
online infrastructure just doesn't work in general.
That's a recipe
Well,
for shitty quality game.
It's not using Nintendo's. It's using whoever created Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay. Let's back it up. But I want to talk about let's go ahead and talk about Guardians of the Galaxy and the implications of this.
Okay, did the Square Enix the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
John, I'm gonna be honest.
Or was
dude,
I wrong
didn't hear
on
shit.
Your voice
John,
is
you're
cut.
You
Your
cut out,
internet.
dude. Okay, well, John's on PowerPoint
Really?
mode. Arcel, please talk about Guardians of the Galaxy.
John is on some KFC internet right now.
John, can you hear now?
I can hear you guys just fine.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys
Just
can-
repeat what you just said, John.
Here are the eye-raising implications about this Guardians of the Galaxy thing. First off, my biggest eyebrow-raising moment about it was, holy shit, they're bringing a game that looks as good as Guardians of the Galaxy, something that looks like PS4, Xbox One level to the Switch. And then, so that first made me think, oh, okay, Switch Pro is definitely coming. But then I found out, and you just mentioned, Andrew, this is a cloud version of the game. Now, if there is a Switch Pro coming out at the end of this year, why would they release a cloud version of the game? I feel like for me, the conclusion I'm drawing from this is we're not going to see a Switch Pro come out this fall. I feel like that's the biggest implication, the biggest noteworthy thing that's come from them, from this whole, just them even mentioning Guardians of the Galaxy at E3.
Honestly, that's fine. I'd rather them not come out with the Switch Pro this year. I'd rather just them come out with a new console within like a year or 2 years, or just come out with something next gen rather than just revamping what they currently have.
I agree.
I honestly don't think a Switch Pro is going to come before the end of the life cycle, just because of the sales numbers that the Switch is doing.
It's just not going to happen.
It doesn't make financial
I've been saying
sense
it
for
since
them.
the beginning. They're not going to do it.
It'd be cool, but
And why would they sell it for
making
$400?
money, if I'm Nintendo and my goal is to make money, it's just like Mario Kart 8. Why would you make a new one if you can just keep hoarding cash off the one that's already out?
I'm really upset that they didn't announce a new Mario Kart. I was really hoping for that. I was really hoping for that.
Down the list. All right. Monkey Ball, which was leaked on Monday night, is coming to PS4, Xbox, Switch. It is a remaster of the first 3 Monkey Ball games, which is pretty cool. I liked Monkey Ball. I had it on the 3DS. Pretty good franchise.
I actually played this game growing up.
Yeah, Monkey Ball's hype, dude.
Yeah,
Monkey Ball's fun.
And then we got our first party new game, Mario Party Superstars, remaster of all the N64 games put into one Switch game with online.
Garbage. I thought this was a DLC.
I wish it was a DLC, brother.
I thought it was a
really
DLC
wish.
for the Mario Party game that's already
But I'll probably
out.
end up
Why?
getting it. I'll probably end up
Who
getting it because
asked?
my girlfriend loves Mario Party, and that's
Who
what we play all
asked
the
for
time.
2? Who asked for 2 Mario Party
Andrew,
games?
Dude, okay, nobody has to ask for 2 Mario Parties. They've released multiple Mario Parties on every console they put a Mario Party on. Dude.
Fair, but I would have rather seen those development dollars spent elsewhere.
They
Would
were
anyone
spent.
else want to?
They made this and then sold it for $60 for Nintendo. They're like, we don't care. We're gonna make $60 for like 10
Dude, the
million
Mario
copies.
Party on the Switch just sucks balls.
Andrew, mention all the announcements, because I feel like we have a lot of just general.
Okay,
more specific
Let
thoughts.
me go through it. Okay, so the biggest announcement, Metroid Dread, first 2D Metroid in 19 years. They originally planned it for the DS, got scrapped. It's coming back on the Switch. Just Dance, nobody cares. Cruise and Blast. I actually think Cruisin' Blast is interesting because if you guys don't know, Cruisin' USA, those arcade cabinets, the game you sit back and you do the steering wheel on, that's actually a Nintendo property. So that's interesting that they're making a home console game for the first time. Dragon Ball Z, don't really care. We talked about Monster Hunter Stories. WarioWare, that's kind of a little wrench in there. That's interesting. First new WarioWare since 2013. Let's see what else we got. Fatal Frame. I did not know it was a Wii U game, but it was, and it's coming to PS4, 5, Xbox One X, and Switch this fall. We got an Advance Wars 1 and 2 remaster re-release in December. First console release for the Advance Wars series from the Game Boy. We got Breath of the Wild 2 gameplay and a release date of sometime in 2022, which is probably going to not hold up. And then Nintendo said, fuck Zelda. We don't give a shit about Zelda. The only Zelda 35th anniversary stuff you're going to get is a shitty little Game & Watch console that has the first two on there. So that rounds out the Nintendo Direct. And I want to talk, we'll go in order. Metroid Dread. What do you guys think about a new 2D Metroid coming to a brand new 2D Metroid coming to Switch?
That I'm actually super excited to see. I think that, if it gets good reviews and stuff and, it turns out to be a good game, I think this could be a shining moment for the Switch. We haven't seen a 2D Metroid in a long time. We haven't seen a good 2D game in general, I feel like, in a long time. There's a lot of focus on these big, immersive environments. But I'm interested to see what Nintendo does with this. And I'd be really interested to play it if it ends up being good. But I have a hard time believing that a 2D side scroller is worth $60. We'll see, obviously. But I'm really excited about that.
In my opinion, this was just Nintendo's lazy version of Metroid Prime. Why aren't we getting a Metroid Prime?
Oh, well, okay. Metroid Dread is being developed by a different group. It's not a Nintendo group. So the company that remastered Metroid 2 for 3DS is making this game. So they still have Metroid Prime 4 in development, but a different company is making this game too. Presumably hold everybody over.
It just
Metroid Prime 4 is in development hell.
It just seems like from a player's perspective, it's like we're getting this instead of what we've been waiting for years. Just kind of a slap in the face.
Yeah.
To me.
I'm gonna kind of piggyback off what John said. I have no doubt it's gonna be a great game. But $60 for a 2D side scroller, that's a hard pill to swallow. Especially when you can find absolutely fantastic side scrollers that have been coming out for the past however many years, that are $20 or less. Exactly. And you want me to pay $60 for Metroid Dread? When I could play, I don't know, Transistor or Dead Cells or fucking anything that's come out in the past 5 years that's a 2D side scroller for $20 or less. Yeah.
Exactly. And those games get good reviews too.
Yeah.
Really good reviews.
Yeah, this one will be a game that I'm going to have to wait and watch the reviews before I think about purchasing it.
I'm a little cautiously optimistic about that.
That's too much money for what it is.
As the residential Metroid fan here.
I mean, you don't know what it is yet. It could be like a 30 or 40 hour long game. It won't be, but it could.
It's literally a Game Boy Advance game, in my opinion. But
okay, well, it's not. But okay, Arsa, what are you gonna say?
No, keep it going. I feel like I want to make this Nintendo's E3 conference a more of a discussion about the state of Nintendo in general, because I feel like that's a more interesting more interesting direction to take things. But
okay, so we'll go through the other couple. So WarioWare, I'll probably get it. I like WarioWare games. I had the one on the Wii. I had the ones on the DS. I think having little mini game collections is cool. I also want to
Again,
say
$60.
50, but
$50.
if you went on Reddit,
Okay.
if you went on Reddit, okay, so there is this little issue with the Nintendo Switch subreddit. So earlier in the year, Nintendo put out a poll to random people and said, would you pay $50 for the next WarioWare game? And overwhelmingly, the consensus in the subreddit was yes. Okay, and then this game gets announced. It's $50, and everybody in the subreddit's like, why the fuck is it $50? Well, you know why it's $50? It's because you all fucking answered their survey saying you would pay $50 for it. So that's why it's $50. And personally, this has got the common theme with this E3 for Nintendo was I'm gonna have to wait and see what reviews it gets, because I'm not sold on any of these 100%. I think Mario Party Superstars, Metroid Dread, WarioWare, what else? Fuck, whatever. I'll have to look at the reviews. They sound good. They sound good, but I'm not sold on them. I'm not sold.
I want to jump in with just like the general thoughts about this conference. First off, I don't know if this is going to get heard, but
I'm here to double down. That shit is a 2-pack of ass. The fuck are you talking about? That shit stinks.
Yeah,
that's literally what it was. 100%.
Okay, and look, we need to stop setting the bar so low for Nintendo that if they do the bare minimum or just slightly above it, that they're getting a pat on the back. My prediction that less than 50% of the games at the conference were going to be new games was right. Imagine how much shit Xbox or PlayStation would have gotten.
Yeah, look at what Xbox did.
Yeah, if their E3 conference was all ports, was more than 50% ports. Like, and then here, I even have the list pulled up. Like, out of those 13 games that were shown, like, how many of these are you really excited about? Like, hold up, one second, because I'm the
only game I'm interested in is Breath of the Wild 2. That's literally
Metroid Dread and Breath of the Wild 2.
Here,
that's it.
There were 20. These are the new games that were shown. Guardians of the Galaxy. That is a cloud port. Astria Ascending. I don't know what the fuck that is. 2 Point Campus. Okay, congrats. That's coming out on everything. If you want to, whatever 2 Point Campus is. Mario Party. It's a collection of old boards. WarioWare. It's a collection of mini games. $50. Metroid Dread. Cool 2D platformer. $60. Just Dance. This is one of the new games. Just Dance. Cruise and Blast, which is an arcade machine game. Mario Golf, it's a golfing game. Monster Hunter Stories, cool. I guess if you have a hard on for Monster Hunter, go for it. Shin Megami Tensei 5, I'll go ahead and give that a green light because it's made from the people who made Persona. Like, that's cool. Mario Rabbids, that's not even a first-party Nintendo game. That's going to be made by Ubisoft. And then you have Breath of the Wild 2. Those are all of the new games that were announced at this conference. That was shit. That's
Stinky.
shit. That is shit.
Stinky.
And like, come on. Like, I know a big discussion we were having in the app post conference was the state of the Switch. Like, the big game that they showed is supposed to be a 2022 release. And then post conference, a bunch of insiders came out and were like, oh yeah, Nintendo is not even confident about that release date. It's probably going to be 2023. Okay, you have 2023 release date. Like, what is going on over at Nintendo? What has come out for the console in the past year and a half? Animal Crossing and fucking Super Mario 3D World, which is a port and it has like a 5-hour add-on expansion.
Do not forget that Paper Mario came out. That game is a banger.
But like, can we talk about really quick?
But like, okay, what I'm trying to say is like, imagine if Xbox or PlayStation was in a situation where there were like 2 games coming out for the console in the span of an entire year. Do you know how much they would get their ass blasted for that? And like, come on, like that was just that. this was just a shitty conference. And
can we talk about
it seemed
the
low
fact
effort.
that dude, Breath of the Wild, the first game took 4.5 to 5 years to develop. We're pushing 5 years for Breath of the Wild 2, and all that we've seen is different is some reverse gravity shit, and there's platforms above ground. That's all we've seen. For all we know, and from what it looks like, it's the same damn map. What the hell is taking them so long? And I understand COVID, I get it, but like, dude, I mean, we're pushing 5 years.
It just looked low effort.
And can we add on to the fact that, let alone there's barely any games coming out worth giving a shit for this console. Nintendo is also a scummy fucking company. Like the amiibo controversy going on with Skyward Sword, how they literally said, "Hey, we're gonna like DMCA your ass if you try to stream our E3 stream." It's just like, why is this a company that anyone should be championing? Because they make colorful first party releases? Like, I want to understand. I'm losing sight of the picture here, I feel like. Like, why? I don't know. John, someone, Parker, jump in.
Yeah, I don't get the direction Nintendo went with this conference. They're just losing me. Like every single day and every single week, they just start to lose me more. And this was just the pinnacle. Like we've reached kind of the mountaintop where I'm just like kind of just insulted.
We reached the mountaintop of the Switch in the first damn year. We got
the best year was the first year.
And plus, let's not forget, Breath of the Wild was on the Wii U, guys. It was not even an exclusive to the Switch. So like, what has come out on the Switch? Super Smash Brothers Ultimate.
2018.
There was, what else? I'm having trouble here. I can't even. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was a re-release. Super Mario 3D World obviously was a re-release. What have we gotten that is new on the Switch?
And even
Super Mario Party, garbage, not fun. I
that
played like 10
sucks.
hours of it.
That game sucks.
And even the first party conversation is just starting to get stale, because it's like, okay, the past 2 years, PlayStation put out like 15 exclusives. The next 2 years, Xbox is probably going to put out 15 exclusives. What is Nintendo doing? They don't have any third-party support, and their first-party support they're putting out. What? Animal Crossing, that came out in March of 2020. What have we gotten since then? What is the next big tentpole? What is the next big tentpole Nintendo release? A game that's going to probably come out in 2023. Yeah,
we're waiting on Metroid Prime 4. We're waiting on Bayonetta 3. Like, what is on the horizon, Nintendo? Because from what I am getting, from what I understand, and the life cycle that Nintendo does with their consoles, we're nearing the end of the Switch's life cycle. And if that's the case, we're going to get one more big game on the Switch, Breath of the Wild 2. And who's to say that won't be on their next console? What the hell did we get on the Switch? Animal Crossing New Horizons. It was okay. Super Smash Brothers Ultimate. Amazing game. I'll give them credit for that. But what the hell else has the Switch done, dude? Yoshi's Crafted World 2? No one cares. Kirby's something or other? No one cares, dude. Like, Odyssey was okay. I just feel like Nintendo has really dropped the bag with the Switch, considering the sales. They've got so many hardware units out there. If they just had the software or, got some help, implement Game Pass. I don't know if it's coming. Hopefully it's coming. Because I want to play my Switch. I want a reason to play my Switch. It's one of the best pieces of hardware, considering you can play it on the TV and it looks damn good. And you can play it on the go and it looks damn good. But there's just not a lot of reason to play it anymore. And it pisses me off. And everyone should be mad at Nintendo for this.
Yeah, it just seems like Microsoft and Nintendo are just on completely opposite ends of the excitement spectrum. Like on one end, Microsoft's doing all these things that or exciting consumers, coming out with new games, giving you so much selection, giving you all this content, while Nintendo, on the other hand, is giving you fucking nothing for content. It's completely dull, and it's so boring nowadays. So it's just wild to see how the direction just two companies can lead to success or failure. And I feel like Nintendo's going on the path towards failure.
And I
We
think
didn't get any gameplay of Splatoon 3, too.
And I think it's super telling.
More.
I think it's super telling, like with you, John and Parker. Like Parker, you have a big childhood remembrance with Nintendo, like growing up with Nintendo. John,
I grew up with a GameCube and a Wii, literally.
Yeah. And John, you've been a big advocate for the Switch in the first half of its lifespan. So it's like, I think it's pretty telling to see you guys be very critical about the Switch, right now, because, like Breath of the Wild, there's a very good reality that the games that we're looking forward to for the Switch right now are going to be games that are potentially going to be on the next console, which is a total bust in your fucking balls. Like
you won't even want to play it on the Switch if it's going to be on the next console in 4K potentially.
Yeah, if I can play Breath of the Wild 2 on the next console, why wouldn't I? Why would I play it on the quote unquote Wii U version? Like how
right?
Andrew, you gotta hop in because we're roasting the fuck out of Nintendo right now. You got
Okay, leave it to me to be the contrarian in this situation. But
the Nintendo fanboy.
I gotta hear from you, Andrew.
I want to say, come back to me December 31st. Ask me how this year went, because when I follow Nintendo, I have realized. What E3 has been good for them except 2017? Have we had a good E3 from them since 2017? No.
2018.
What came out in 2018? Tell me.
Smash Ultimate.
Okay, one game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was it. I don't remember anything else from that year.
See,
that was hype.
That was like one of the best.
Hype.
That was one of the best games Nintendo's come out with lately, and that was 3 years ago.
Yeah, but I want to say on their structure of game releases, I don't think they put as much into E3 as they used to, because if you remember, Smash Bros. Ultimate was announced in like some random March Direct. It wasn't even at E3.
Oh, really?
Yes, and Splatoon 3, another tentpole game because it sold 13 fucking million copies of Splatoon 2. That's a lot of copies. That was announced in a random. When was that Direct that we thought sucked ass?
That was
February.
March, but I'm surprised that they didn't show gameplay of Splatoon 3. That makes me believe that it might not come out this year.
I think
it's not supposed to come out.
I think the main thing I took from it was given COVID, we had Paper Mario and Animal Crossing come out, but those games were done before COVID hit. They said that a majority of the games they were going to talk about were coming out this year, so they're giving you like this near-term release schedule. And I want to look at the release schedule. Every single month except for August, there is a first-party Nintendo game coming out on the Switch.
But what are those games?
Mario Golf in June, Skyward Sword in July, WarioWare and Mario Party in September, Metroid in October, Pokemon in November, Advance Wars in December, and Pokemon in January.
But like
so,
they
haven't deviated from their 2017-2018 phase. You have one first party.
But like that's the thing that's the thing is like none of these games are. Can you genuinely be excited about like any of those games you mentioned?
I am excited for
besides maybe Metroid Dread, but like think about it, like Mario Golf.
4, 5, 6. 6 out of those 8 games I'm excited for.
But like Mario Golf, that is a golf game. Skyward Sword, that is a port.
Yeah, Skyward Sword sucks.
What is it? What was the other? Advance Wars? It's just some stupid arcade game. Like Mario Party. That's probably the best. That's probably the best thing they showed. I'm gonna be honest. Like, and Metroid Dread. I'll probably say that too. But like, these aren't the games that we got the Switch for. I feel like.
Well, maybe not you guys, but like you guys have to realize we are 4 people. There are 89 million people that have a Switch. Like,
But
if they make a shitty fucking Zelda port and it sells 3 million, which it easily could. I mean, shit, they made money. I mean, do you think they care?
That's 5% of their user base. 5%.
But you have to also
you
think
get
about
10% of your user base to buy a game, and it's in like the top 10 games for the year for sales.
Should
like,
we excuse
it's not that hard?
Should we excuse Nintendo for coming out with ports, selling a bunch of copies, and just putting it up to, oh, they made money, so who cares? I mean, that's completely shitty.
As a consumer, I want new games.
Yeah,
as
and like
a gamer
here's the other
and
thing
a
with
Nintendo
the
fan, I want new games. But dude, like
you have to have
okay.
a higher bar, dude. Like this is such a low fucking bar, I feel like.
Well,
like,
I understand it might be a low bar, but you have to realize, like, dude, okay, so their ports that they're coming out with, as much as I hate ports, only because I have a Wii U, like 76 million of the 89 million people, like at the maximum, if everybody that bought a Wii U bought a Switch, like you have a maximum of 13 million out of your 90 million base that has had the ability to play these games before.
It's still lazy.
To almost 80 million people, these are new games. Like they aren't, but these people have never had a way to play them. I also don't have an issue with E3 being weak, because they do like 3 or 4 big directs a year, and on top of that, you have like side directs.
They didn't do a single direct in 2020.
They did. They did 2. They did 3 of them, didn't they?
Weren't those minis, right?
Let me look.
I thought it was the big deal about the February direct that there hadn't been one for like over a year.
Okay, they had one in February 2020, and then August 2020, September 2020, September 17th, 2020. So they had 4 directs in 2020.
Those were minis,
it
though,
must
right?
have been stinky.
Okay, one of them was China only. Because China finally got Switches
also
last year.
Keep in mind that 89 million, like this is where Nintendo really strives well. They are good at catering towards people who don't play games. Like, do you know how many fucking basic bitches I came across?
And that's why they do this.
That bought a Switch because Animal Crossing looks cute. You know, like
well, and it sucks as a Nintendo fan. It sucks that they do this stuff, but I mean, I can't excuse it, but it makes sense as a business major. It makes sense that they're doing this because,
but like that's
like they've sold so many. Like they could put out absolutely nothing, and the Switch would still be a success for them.
But they're losing actual gamers.
But that's the worst thing to talk about. Like, it sucks that when you have to talk about the business mentality. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and criticize PlayStation. The fact that they're bringing God of War to PS4, that is a good business decision. But nobody likes talking about business decisions for games. That's a bad creative decision.
As
focusing on the media.
As a Nintendo fan, I hate it. Like, I absolutely hate it. But also, everybody does it. Like, dude, Sony has been at the top of my shit list for like the past month, just because they're like, Sony was not at this E3. If you're listening, you could not get that from this. But like, dude, the fact that all those games that people bought PS5s for are coming on the fucking PS4. Shitty business decision. What is with Japan companies and making shitty business, like good? No,
that's a great business decision, but it's a bad creative
practices. Shitty consumer practices, because you have people like me.
Artistic decisions.
Like even then, like, you know, it's like, Andrew, weren't you gonna buy a Switch Pro?
I'll buy it.
It's like, but and you know what I mean? Like, it's you gotta hold everything equal. Like,
well, yeah, that's true.
Like, if you're gonna give Sony shit for releasing a game on a console you already have, why would you buy a Switch Pro? It's
but here's the problem: is the Switch Pro is like, okay, the new Nintendo 3DS. It's like a hardware upgrade. It's not a generational upgrade. The thing that makes me mad about Sony is that they told all these people, look, you can get Gran Turismo 7 and God of War 2. And like, you need a PS5 for this. And then all of a sudden they're like, oh, these games are coming out on PS4 as well. And it's like,
I agree. That sucks.
It's
That
like
does suck.
it sucks because I criticize Nintendo and I hate Nintendo for just port.
But like
it's the same situation Sony's doing. They're just PS4
but they're
game.
not
Oh,
port,
we'll just put it
but
on PS5.
it's not a port though. It's a new game. What is the
But
next
it's coming
game
out
coming
on
out for
both generations.
Yeah, but it's not a port. It's a
Well,
new game that's coming out on both consoles.
You build it for PS5 and upgrade it for
the Switch is literally releasing a port. You know, like that half. Look, can we go back to the point that the E3 Direct was more than 50% ports and DLC? Like, you know, you gotta like. I will criticize Sony. I think that is a bad creative decision.
Yeah, in my
But
opinion,
still.
I think Nintendo and Sony deserve equal criticism at this point right now because
and here's the problem: is you can see a game and be like, okay, yeah, that's a port. It's coming from the Wii U to the Switch. But personally, I see it as if you release it on both generations, it's a fucking port for the newer console because they built it to work on an older console and just upgraded it to work on a newer console. Like,
I don't
look
like
at all
that
the
either.
games they announced at the PS5 showcase. I mean, what games did they announce that aren't coming to PS4? Returnal and Ratchet and Clank. End of list.
Yeah,
that
sucks big time.
It's also only like a year into the new console. You know what I mean? Like, think about where we are for each console. The PS5, we're 6 months in. The Series X, we're 6 months in. The Switch, we are almost 5 years in. Look at the trajectory of everything. The Switch has been DOA for the past fucking year. And it's going to be DOA for the next 2 years until Breath of the Wild 2 comes out. Like,
that's what it seems like.
Like, look
at the
trajectory.
Might be that shining moment, but
like this is how
Metroid Prime.
And I mentioned this before too. Like, this is how the trajectory usually goes for these companies. Nintendo usually starts out stronger and slowly loses steam. Think about the Wii's trajectory. The Wii was hot. So was the hottest thing on the market.
It was the hottest. Totally. Like, it's burning hot.
But 2010 onwards, no one gave a shit about the Wii. Same with PlayStation. PS4's first year or two was stinky. I will completely admit that. The first year or two of the PS4 was stinky. 2015 onwards, the PS4 has completely dominated. PS5, yeah, this year, it's an off year. Think about what Sony's year was last year. Last was 2, Ghost of Tsushima. Like, they're going to ramp up. But, you know, it sucks that the Switches, we're potentially viewing the best of the Switches behind us, which is a really shitty thought.
I like how you brought up the Wii, Arsenal, because that just shows like how when games get shittier later in the generations that they just lose steam, and it overall leaves less of a good impression on you than when it first came out, because that's exactly what it was with the Wii. Same with not even with the Wii U. Wii U didn't even start out hot. It's like when your
the Wii U was just a stinker.
Yeah, exactly. But when you start off really well and blow your load all in one spot, and then just completely give up on the games later on in the generation, that it leaves a sour taste in your mouth, or at least it did for me.
And that's the thing that ultimately bites your ass as a Nintendo fan is, like me, it's like their consoles like suffer, like, you know, the DJ Khaled album Suffering from Success. That's what that's what Nintendo consoles are, because you get consoles that sell absolute shit. Like the GameCube sold absolute shit. But Parker, think of how many fucking classics came out on the GameCube.
That GameCube was fun.
Timers.
Ocarina of
N64
or not
N64
Wind Waker.
Are the best Nintendo consoles the ones that sell the shit?
The N64 sold like 35 million consoles total. How many classics came out on the N64? And the Wii U sold 13 million. 13 million. That's less than the population of the state of New fucking York in America. And all the good games on there came to the Switch. Like, the thing that is completely maddening is, like, if the Switch sucked and it wasn't successful, we would have better games. And that's a fucking kick in the ball sack every time, because the Wii, everything was good until 2009 when it took off. And then everything from there went to shit. Like, it's like Nintendo makes it like a certain dollar amount. I don't know if it's some Japanese thing, but they make it to a certain sales number and it just...
they just give up.
What happened? Like,
they just
what
totally
the fuck happened?
Andrew,
I hope the next Nintendo console comes out. I hope it sells fucking 30,000 consoles, because then we'll get some fucking all-timers.
Andrew, I have an analogy for Nintendo right now, okay? Nintendo's like the LA Clippers. Like, this is an NBA analogy. Like, they're either turned on playing really well, or they're just off and completely suck and do nothing for a long time. That's literally what it is. It's like a complete on and off power switch with Nintendo. Like, it's either just really going really well and they're selling a bunch and they're coming out with good games, but then they have years and year periods where it's just like, why do I have this console still?
I mean,
it's just ridiculous that the best games that have come to the Switch have been Wii U ports. Most of the best games.
I mean, Smash is essentially a Wii U port.
And I mean, yeah, Smash 4. Well, Smash 4 was literally like the fucking demo for Smash Ultimate. Like Breath of the Wild was on both. Super Mario 3D World, one of the best Mario games of all time, in my opinion, better than Odyssey for sure, was on the Wii U first. Super Mario Maker did get, a sequel, but it's the same damn game. Like, it's just, what are they gonna do? All we have is Splatoon 3 and Breath of the Wild 2 until the end of the Switch's life cycle.
And I doubt Metroid Prime 4 is coming out.
I doubt it. I really doubt it. We've gotten a title screen. We've gotten that's it. Nothing else. That's like seeing the title screen for GTA fucking 4 years before it comes out. It's just not, it's not gonna happen. Bayonetta 3, same thing.
To go on
just say to the Wii U owners here, definitely, if you can, check out that Metroid Prime trilogy on the Wii U store. You will not regret it.
I'll be checking it out. I got a Wii U.
I want everyone to be a Metroid Prime fan before Metroid Prime 4 comes out.
And I mean,
if it comes
out. Speaking on the suffering from success, what games do you remember from the Nintendo DS?
A lot.
Give me give me
Mario Kart DS, Super Mario DS.
Okay.
Bowser, Luigi.
Smash Bros.
No, DS, Parker.
Not 3DS. Okay.
Let me think.
Super Mario 64
Super Mario,
DS.
Dude, the Mario and Sonic Olympics, those were fire. But besides those,
does Pico
okay, how many of those games came out?
Nintendogs.
How many of those games came out after the 2-year mark?
Barely any.
0.
1. You got Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
And Andrew, you might be onto something.
When they start selling a lot, they start shitting their pants, and it sucks.
I think
the biggest
it's
games,
like they get in the spotlight and they can't handle it.
The thing is, you could be like, oh well, they sold millions of copies of this, but anything they sold millions of copies of post 2009, which is 4 years into the DS, all Pokemon games, all of them, every single one.
Is this a Johnny Manziel situation with Nintendo? As soon as they
they blow their load early, and then they try to ride it out with Pokemon on their handheld devices.
That's not even it. They get popular, and then they're like, "Oh, I'm in the spotlight. People are going to be critical of everything we put out, so let's just be safe." That's what happens. That is what has happened with the DS. You just pointed it out. The DS had no good games after the first 3 years it was out. The 3DS, I would debate.
Look at the 3DS. Look at the 3DS, bro. The 3DS.
All the good games came out the first year, dude. Mario Kart 7. What else?
That's not the direction I was going with that. Yeah.
Can we also talk about I wanted to shift gears here a little. Can we talk about how the Breath of the Wild trailer was also low-key stinky?
Yeah.
I thought that too.
Okay, let me just lay this out. All I know is that looks like Legend of Zelda is going tenet on her ass. They're doing some sort of backward reverse shit going on.
Like anti-gravity.
Yeah, but oh my god, the biggest kick in the balls for all of this was that they're gonna be reusing the same map.
The same exact map.
Except
in 5 years of development time. Plus.
And they won't reveal and can we roast them for this? They have the name but won't reveal it because it'll spoil the game. Yeah, like what? Are we not
They
going to know
have
the
to
name?
reveal it at some
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, what? Did they
Are-
not reveal the name of the game until the ending credits? They're just like,
It's just a spoiler, bro. You can't until you play the game. You can't look at the title.
It's just
Yeah.
going to be called The Legend of Zelda. And
That's just
Breath
a
of the-
that's a
the
poor
Breath-
excuse.
Breath of the Wild is one of the greatest games of all time, and probably the biggest part of why it's so great is the exploration. We talked about this in our second episode. The exploration, the feeling of adventure and journey and exploration, finding that new thing across that mountain. You know, like there's so much to explore and see. What I'm afraid that you're gonna lose a lot of that mysticism and that charm and that beauty of Breath of the Wild because it's gonna be the same map and you're gonna be like, oh, yep, I remember playing, I remember this, there, and that. Like,
I agree.
Dude, you
And,
can
like-
literally just fast travel wherever you want because you know where to go already.
and I am very curious how they're gonna implement the stuff above the map, like the sky stuff, like I don't know. That trailer got me more worried about Breath of the Wild. Not I'm still expecting it's going to be great because they have a great foundation, but I would have loved for the sequel to Breath of the Wild to also be something that's shaping up to be another 10 out of 10 as opposed to something maybe it's looking, if I had to make a guess, maybe it's looking like something that might be in the 8 to 9 range because you're losing a lot of that lightning in a bottle. Breath of the Wild was a lightning in a bottle moment, and it really bothers me that they're reusing the same map. Like John,
And that's what did it for me with the Breath of the Wild was that, you know, I spent 90 hours of exploring before I went to Ganon because I wanted to make sure I saw everything in the world before I beat Ganon and, you know, didn't necessarily want to go back to it right away. And the fact that it's the same damn map, it's the exact same map, but there's some certain parts that are in the air. To me, that's a little worrying as well, because first off, it took them, again, 4.5 years to develop Breath of the Wild. And we're pushing over 5 years for the sequel. And that's all we're getting? I just, I don't know. And I feel like there were moments of Breath of the Wild, and this was one of our only complaints with the game, where it didn't run very well. And if they're going to be, you know, doing more with this game, it probably will run the same. So it also, again, begs the question, will this be a game that's on the new console? Will we even want it on the Switch? Is it truly going to be even just a Switch release? I don't know. But obviously, I'm excited for Breath of the Wild, the sequel, because I loved the first game, but it's going to lose some of that charm when the map is exactly the same. It's exactly the same. The castle, Ganon's castle, we've seen it. It's exactly the same. I don't know.
What about you, Andrew? What do you think about the recycling? Reduce, reuse, recycle.
I wish they had a new map because, like, see, I was looking at this as like being an Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask situation. Like, okay, that's fine. Use the same assets. Give us a new map, though. Like, I mean, to be fair, that trailer didn't really show much that we didn't already like assume. Like, we knew they'd be reusing assets, but I mean, like, shit, I don't know. Give us a new map or a new. I mean, they're giving us a new area. Like, this aerial area is like this aerial area is like it's like good, but I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I'm not too optimistic about it.
I'm being cautiously optimistic about Breath of the Wild too.
The title is going to be Skyward Sword 2.
I hope not, Jesus. I mean,
or Legend of Zelda Tenet.
So what I got from this conversation is Nintendo is a has-been. I mean, there is a reason that 90% of my gaming time this year has been on one of these three consoles. This one that can play all three of these generations. Like
3DS in your hand.
They peaked. Yes, this is a Nintendo 3DS in my hand. I mean, like, my top played games on here, 10 of the 15 top played games are DS games. Like, dude, Nintendo has passed their mark, and I'm just trying to, like, I'm trying to like, it's like the grief cycle. Like I'm in the denial phase right now. Like I'm in denial that Nintendo is dead and that the Switch
Give us
is
a new
dead.
IP, man. Give us a fucking new IP.
Like,
why haven't we seen that from Nintendo?
Give us,
Not
like,
once
dude,
this generation.
You can
Correct me if I'm wrong.
You can make 50% of the Switch owners happy by literally, like Parker predicted, virtual console. Just everything. Just make it. You don't even have to make new games. Just make it the ultimate Nintendo experience. Give us everything you got, because it can run everything you've released so far. Like,
exactly.
Like, fuck. Like, give us virtual console, man. Fuck, baby. Fuck, virtual console, baby. Fuck.
It's easy.
Something to make me excited for Nintendo. Just anything.
But you know what?
Imagine if there was Wii virtual console.
But you know what the best Nintendo console is of all time?
Wii U. The Wii U.
Your fucking computer. Just emulate
everything. No, honestly though,
you don't need virtual console when you got a Mac or a PC, bro.
The Wii U, you can play everything except for Smash Ultimate. Honestly, on that thing.
And Paper Mario Origami King.
Yeah,
silent banger.
No one cares about that. Except
okay, but anyways, to wrap up the whole Nintendo shit fest, I would like to say shout out to our listeners. Let's see what these poll results were. Yesterday we put out a poll. Who won?
Yeah,
E3?
you guys have terrible taste.
And 55% of you said Nintendo beat out Xbox, which is very surprising because we are the polar opposite opinion here. So
yeah, I saw a poll yesterday.
Good for you guys for being optimistic.
I saw a poll this past weekend, or this like a few days ago, where it was Seinfeld versus Friends, and Seinfeld got 30% of the vote. So
that's whack.
Just goes to show
polls
you.
do not dictate the popular opinion. It dictates the opinion of your user base, which may be heavily biased. Because Jordan, I hope you're not listening, but I like Seinfeld a fuckload more than Friends. So
Friends is the off-brand Seinfeld.
No, I okay. To be fair on this little tangent, Friends is pretty good. Friends is good. Seinfeld's just better. Like Seinfeld's just better.
Seinfeld is
the best
timeless.
sitcom ever.
Yeah.
I've never seen a better sitcom.
One of the best shows of all time. But that's
another
episode. That's another episode.
Hint, maybe we'll talk about that soon. We never know. Anyways, that is our E3 discussion. Thank you everybody for listening in. Yeah, Xbox One.
Yeah, Microsoft
Xbox One. Our listeners think that Nintendo won, so a little bit of contention.
Battle it out.
So thanks for listening to us shit on Nintendo, praise Microsoft, and make fun of little third-party developers, just like everybody loves to do.
Thank you for tuning in,
guys. Next week, be ready, Sony fans. The Last of Us 2 is coming right up the docket.
Yes.
One of my personal favorite games, the game of the year last year.
Yes.
We will be conversating about that and probably definitely 100% not having as much negative talk as this week.
Yes, that episode will be entirely for that game. There will be no current events.
We will not be talking about Xbox, Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo. We will only be talking about Naughty Dog's fabulous creation, The Last of Us 2. So thank you everybody for listening. I apologize if you're a huge Nintendo fan and don't want to hear us shit on Nintendo, but we had to. So please tune in next week, Last of Us 2. It'll be a fire episode as always. For Andrew, I am signing off.
Ursula signing off. Thanks, guys.
Have a good night, folks.
See you guys.